Hey everybody, welcome to the Leader Lab. This is Leadership Shorts, quick thoughts to help you level up your leadership. My name is Chad Wright. I'm the founder of Forward Partners, and I am joined by my partner in podcasting, Emily Grace Deal. Emily, what are we talking about today?
Today we have a question.
Okay.
I'm trapped in a toxic culture, but not in a position to quit. How do I continue to lead in an environment like this? It's a tough one.
That's a really tough one because I think one of the keys there is I'm trapped. Like I can't leave. What can I do? Because we've all had those. We've been a part of organizations that had a toxic culture, right?
Yeah.
And it's not fun. It gets to be do I even want to get out of bed today? Do I really want to go back to that place?
Yeah, is it worth it?
Is it worth it? And that becomes really hard when we don't have a choice, when we are not in a position to just say, see ya, fools, I'm out, like we would like to.
Yeah, 100%.
But we're not in a position to do that. What do we do? And so I think that really is hard. And I think we can give a couple of things to this framework to think about this. I think the first one, it's so easy to focus on the culture and how toxic it is. We lose sight of the fact that we can control the culture of us.
Yeah.
We get to decide, what is my culture going to be internally today? What am I going to focus on? What am I going to believe in this?
Choose to not be a part of it in a way, to the best as you can.
You
have to be there,
yes,
but to not take part in the things that you can control.
Not take part of those in the negative things, but also to control the version of us that shows up, right?
Yeah.
There's that quote we talk about all the time. Is it Brennan Manning that says, in every encounter, you either give life or you drain life. There is no neutral exchange. And so when you have a toxic culture, what you usually have is a lot of unhealthy leaders, a lot of unhealthy people running around just draining life from everybody, right? And so it is saying, okay, if there's all these people running around draining life, what if I were the one that walked around giving life?
Yeah.
I have that ability, and we all have that ability. And this kind of goes to the episode a few back where we talked about the idea of burnout being an internal fight, not external.
Yeah.
This is kind of a similar idea that we can control the version of us that shows up. That starts with mindset, that goes into habits, that goes into rhythms. Are we actually investing in ourselves to show up healthy? Are we showing up with the mindset that this place is terrible, these people are terrible, the day is going to be terrible? Like, you're going to find terrible if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, I was going to say it's not a quick fix, but I mean, it kind of is. If you can show up as a healthier version of you, It is a quick fix. But getting to the place where you're able to do that takes some work. It does.
It's a quick fix for your experience of that culture. Now, it takes time to change a culture. It takes time to shift things, for sure. But it's quick to say, you know what, today is going to be a good day. I'm investing in myself. You know, we talk about healthy leaders are spiritually, emotionally, physically oriented towards health. So I'm going to choose to orient myself towards health in these categories before I ever show up. And then I'm going to give life to people, and I'm going to experience some challenges, but because I'm healthier, I'm going to handle them better. And I'm going to get to the end of the day, and my experience of that culture will be wildly different.
Right. I'm going to choose to see the positivity where I can.
And it's not putting blinders on. It's creating something better.
Yeah.
It's bringing life to things. It's when people start gossiping and picking on others to not participate and to step in a way that does give life and does do good things. So I think that's step one, is understanding we can always control the culture of us. And that then determines the version of us that shows up. Are we going to bring life or are we going to drain it? We have that power, and it's a superpower. It really is. When you think about the times in life when you can control nothing, to stay in control of ourselves is a superpower.
Yeah, definitely.
And the last piece of it, and this is one of the harder ones, the way we describe it is do the next right thing, but hold the results with an open hand.
Yeah.
Because we can often, in cultures like that, we can get really stuck in, I'm going to do the right thing, but as a result, you better do the right thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's not really holding with an open hand. That is closing your hand around the result and saying, I'm doing a thing so that I get this other thing, right?
Yeah, what's the motivation there?
Yes, and that becomes really dangerous. And the way I describe it, and maybe this is my West Texas redneck upbringing, but if you hold that result with an open hand, you're not going to get hurt. Then it doesn't matter what the result is. You did the right thing.
Right.
And the way I think about it, and this is the West Texas redneck part, is you put a firecracker in your hand, which we do not advise. Spoiler alert, do not try this at home. You put a firecracker in your hand and you leave your hand open. When it goes off, it's going to burn a little, and it's going to, it's not going to be great, but nothing terrible's happened, right? You take your fingers and you close it around that same firecracker, you're going to lose some fingers.
Yeah.
It is very, very similar. I'm going to do the right thing, but I'm only doing it so that you do something else. Well, then when you don't, I've closed my hand around it, and I'm going to get hurt.
You want to know my example?
I do, yes. Please give me the non-West Texas redneck example.
So this isn't going to be for everyone, but if you've seen Frozen 2.
I have not.
There is a whole song,
that,
Disney princess song, that's about doing the next do the next right thing.
Okay.
Doing the next right thing for you, finding the next thing to do to get yourself out of whatever situation
and Disney princesses know what they're talking about.
It's worth watching.
Okay. Which Disney princess sings this?
Anna.
Anna. Okay, this is how non-Frozen I am. I'm not plugged in. My kids are old
it's
now.
Anna and Elsa, and Anna sings it. Yeah.
Okay, so it is that do the next right thing.
Yeah.
And that's interesting. Whether you are trapped in a castle, I don't know the story.
She's in a cave.
If you're trapped in a cave, frozen somewhere, or you're trapped in a toxic culture.
Sure.
That really is a big key. So if you find yourself trapped in one of those cultures and it just feels like you're stuck, things will never get better, nothing can ever change. Ultimately, think of it with these two big things. You can control the culture of you. That determines a version of you that shows up. You can bring life. You have the ability to influence culture. If you go back to, is it episode 40, 41? We talk about the idea of everybody leads. Does not matter your position in this toxic culture. You are a leader.
Yeah.
You have the ability to influence that, to change that, to make it better, to bring life. One person bringing life can make a massive difference. You can do that. And the other thing is make sure you're always doing the next right thing. And you're holding those results with an open hand. You're not closing your fingers around anything. You're saying, I'm going to do the right thing because it's right. Yeah. Because it's what is going to make this place better. If you can do that, you can learn how to influence that toxic culture and hopefully make it a better time there if you're stuck there. All right. I love this question. This is the things we love to wrestle through. So if somebody is wrestling with something and they need some help, they need somebody to reach out to, how do they get in contact with us?
lab@forwardpartners.net.
lab@forwardpartners.net. Email us your questions, your quotes, your troubles, your problems you're wrestling with from a leadership standpoint.
Let us know if you watch Frozen 2.
Let us know your thoughts on Frozen 2. I'm sure there's a certain number of likes of this podcast that would get me to watch Frozen, but it's a pretty high number. It's up there. It's like,
well, I mean, you would have to watch Frozen 1 to then get to Frozen 2 because
that number just doubled. The number just like we went from like, hey, if 1,000 people like this to hey, if 2,000 people like this.
I'm gonna make it happen.
Please, hey, listen, you make that happen, I will watch them both. All right. Thank you for doing this, Ben. Thank you for producing. Wilco Workspaces. Thank you for partnering with us. Disney. Thank you for your musical wisdom. We will see you right here next time in the Leader Lab for Leadership Shorts.